Hey, what's up, traders? Jason Brown here with the Brown Report, and I'm back with part 2 of the Webull tutorial. And we're going to be talking about how to find stocks to trade and then how to actually place a stock trade on the app. So let's get into it. As we open up the Webull app, we already discussed about how to add stocks to your watch list. These are stocks that you're already watching, things that you're already considering trading. But let's talk about how to find some new ideas using the app and then walk you through the entire process of placing a trade. If you move to this tab called Markets here, you'll see the default is the United States, and they'll have crypto, and they'll have China up at the top. You can tap these and you can see what's going on in the crypto market and then see what's going on in the Chinese market. You could also hit the hamburger menu over to the top right, and you'll pull it up. And if you don't want to follow China, for example, let's just say you live in Canada, you can add Canada up there. Then you're going to want to hit the check mark, and voila, you'll see that you have Canada at the top. It's going to be important depending on where you live, because that's where the suggestions are going to come up below, depending on what country you've picked and what we're looking at. So let's go back to the United States for us. So now down below, you're going to see the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and then the NASDAQ. If you click on each one, it's just going to change the graph above. What I really would love if Webull would do is when you clicked into the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it would show all of the stocks that are in the Dow Jones. So maybe if they're watching, that's an update that they can implement into the system in the future. The second thing is, as you scroll down, you'll see the advanced and decline distribution. There's about 5,000 stocks in here. It doesn't really allow you to know anything other than how many stocks declined or advanced, but it would be nice if I could click and say, what are the stocks that advanced by 15% or more? Like, what are those 518 stocks? So because it doesn't necessarily tell me, I'm clicking right here on my screen, it doesn't do anything. It's really not that helpful of information for me. And then last but not least, below here is the net inflow of the New York Stock Exchange, or the NASDAQ, and compared to the NASDAQ, but it doesn't allow me to change this. So I'm not sure that's helpful information. But let's go down to where it is starting to become helpful. Down here, as it says top gainers, we can look for what are the stocks that are top gainers pre-market. So I'm going to click on pre-market. If the market was, if today was a trading day, these would be the top stocks that are gaining before 9:30, before the market actually opens. If you click after hours, these are going to be the stocks that are gaining from 4 p.m. on. Maybe they release earnings. Maybe there's some news that come out. So what's moving in the after hours? You can also, if you're a day trader, you got what's moving on a 5-minute chart, and also what's moving on 1 day, which means during the day. And then you have 5-day, 1 month, 3 month, and then 52 weeks for those who are looking for a more of a long term, what's been moving in the last year. You can see right below, it'll show you the stocks. And then if you want to see all the stocks, there's a view all button. You just hit that, and then it's going to pull up all the stocks that have been moving in the last 52 weeks. We're going to hit back. Now, that is just for the top gainers. If you scroll down, maybe you're looking for some stocks that you can short, maybe buy some put options on if you're an options trader. You can see the top losers as well. So same thing, you can see pre-market, after hours, 5-minute, 1 day, 5-day. And then again, if you scroll a little bit further down, view all, hit that button, it'll tell you all the stocks within the last month that are the top losers. And you can also sort the percent change. So I just sort it by, if you hit the button, it's going to show you the most negative losers. And then if you hit the button again, it's going to actually do the opposite. It's going to go from the losers, and then at some point it's going to go to those that are positive, or, you know, had a positive percent gain. So down below that, you got most active. So this is a really cool feature right here, because most active by volume can tell you, are there a lot of traders piling into a certain stock or piling out of a certain stock? So percent by volume is a very interesting thing to be able to sort by and find not only what's most active, but what's most active by amount of shares being changed hands. You also can do percent turnover, and then you can also do percent range. I believe that's going to show you the biggest trading range by percentage. So if, let's say, Amazon moved $1 in a day, well, that's a $1,700 stock, so it's not going to have the biggest percentage move or percent range move. But let's just say a stock that is, Sprint PCS at $8, if that moved the dollar, well, that's like a 10%, a little bit over a 10% move. Does that make sense? So a dollar move on a stock like Sprint versus a dollar move on a stock like Apple or Amazon, it's not going to be considered a big percent range move for the stock. So that's what you can use percent range for. Scroll on down, you got hot ETFs. Now, what I love about ETFs is these are exchange traded funds, if you're not familiar with that terminology. And what you can do is, if you click into the Dow Jones, it'll show you some of the ETFs for that. You click into the S&P 500, it'll show you some of the ETFs that use or leverage the S&P 500. But further down is my favorite feature, which is the best performing industries, because this actually does what I think some of the other tabs should do. So for example, if I say, what are the best performing industries in the last 5 days? You see it's going to show technology, computer and household electronics. If I click on that industry, this is really the gold feature here. Now it's going to tell me what stocks within that industry were the big movers. Okay, so you see there's 8 advancers. So you got STX, ELO, Apple, Fitbit, NetApp, DBD, Avid, Allot, and Canon, right? And then you can also see what are the 36 decliners. So this is where you can really pull some ideas from that you may want to trade. All right, so now that we have some ideas of some stocks that we want to trade, let's get into the app and actually place a fake trade or a real trade, but we're not going to push the actual button. So we have Ford Motor Company up here on the screen. We're just going to click on that for an example. And then you have Ford up here. It's going to tell you the price. There's your buy button in the bottom left. You just hit that. If you're using an iPhone, it's just going to ask you want to use Face ID. So it's going to ID my face and say, okay, I have the authority to actually place this trade. Now that we're inside of the trading screen, here's where the magic happens. So this is where most people get confused. So I want to walk you through all of these buttons and what they mean. A limit order is saying, hey, this is the limit that I want to pay for Ford. So at this time, the market is closed, but Ford last traded at $5.58. So let's just say I wanted to buy Ford for $5.50. I may put a limit order in and say, hey, if Ford drops down to $5.50, then fill my order. So as long as Ford's above $5.50, it will not purchase the stock. But if it drops down to $5.50, that limit, the limit amount that I'm willing to pay for it will kick in and it'll buy the stock for me. This is actually good if you work a full-time job and you want to scale into some stocks, but you don't have the ability to watch it every day, but you already know what price you'd love to buy it at. You can put in a limit order and say, boom, this is the price I'm willing to pay for it. Once it drops down to that, send my order to the market and get me filled. The market tab says, whatever the price is going for right now at the moment, that is what I'm willing to pay for Ford. So like, I just want to get into the stock, and maybe Ford's not the best example. Who wants to get into Ford right now? But we're just using this for demonstration purpose, okay? So you may be just saying, I want to get into Ford right here, right now. Give me the best price that's on the market that someone's willing to sell it for right now. So that could be $5.58. If it jumps up to $5.60, they may buy you some shares at $5.60. You're just saying, I'm willing to pay whatever the current market price is. Now, a stop order is typically used on the opposite ends when you're trying to get out. So typically, if you're trying to sell, you may say, hey, I want you to stop my trade or stop and get me out of Ford if it falls down to $4. So you may put a $4 stop in and say, if it falls down to $4, get me out of this trade. And that's how stops are worked. They're typically not used on the buy-in. And then you have the OTO. Now, OTO is what's called one triggers others, as you can see on the screen. This is for really putting together sophisticated strategies when you aren't able to be in front of a computer. So let me give you an example. I'm an option trader. So I do typically buy the option, not the stock. But the option is based on what the stock does. So what I may do at this point is say, hey, if the stock falls, so Ford is trading at $5.58. I may say if the stock falls to $5, I want you to trigger me to buy some put options at this price. So see how that's one triggers other? So Once the stock does something, that is the one that is going to trigger my other order, which is to actually buy an option, a put option. Maybe I want to short for it because I think it's going to fall even further if it falls down to $5. So I really love the one triggers other feature in here. Okay, but most people will typically just be buying at the market. So below that, you're going to see your limit price. So again, if I wanted to only pay $5.50 for 4, it's going to say don't send this order to the market until it hits $5.50. Below that, we're going to have our quantity. So it's going to say I want to buy one option, but you could buy 2 options, 3 options, 4. And what that percentage is telling you what percent of your account is going to be used to purchase for it. So right now, I believe I only have $100 or something in this test account. They're saying if I were to buy, for example, 15 shares of Ford, that'll take up about 83% of my account. So I think that's a pretty cool feature there, all right? So we're just gonna say 10 shares. And then they're gonna say time of day to enforce. Now, during the day just means if this order isn't filled today, I want you to cancel it. Good till cancel means I want you to leave this order on until I come in and manually cancel it. I typically like to do good for the day because if I forget or don't like the stock tomorrow, but I'm traveling or just life happens and I forget all about the trade that I put on, I don't want that trade still open. I'd rather go in the next day and place a new order. But for whatever reason, if you wanted to leave it on good till cancel, you can. Just remember that you could wake up and have bought some stock that you forgot you had an order on, or maybe you sold some stock that you changed your mind and didn't want to sell, but you never went in and canceled the order. Then there's the option to place the order during the extended hours. I mean, do you want us to place this order before the market opens, pre-market, or after the market opens, or do you only want it open during market hours, which is 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? Down here, there's a take profit or a stop loss. So what I love about this is if you already know in advance where you'd like to take a profit or where you'd like for your loss to be, you can actually set that up. So you can say, hey, I want to take profit if Ford hits, I can just come in here and say, if Ford hits $6.50, I want you to come in here and sell and take profit. On the other end, you can say, hey, if Ford falls down to $5, I want you to just go ahead and just shut this trade down, okay? And so they're going to estimate that if you have 10 shares of Ford from where the price is at right now, if it falls down to $5, it's basically saying you're going to lose estimate about $5. And if it goes up to $6.50 from where the price is at right now, you're going to make about $10. So it kind of does that calculation for you, which is pretty cool. I'm going to turn that off. I just wanted to show you how that works. And then after that, just go ahead and hit buy. And it's going to say you can't place orders at this moment because the market is closed. But if I would allow it extended hours, again, it would then tell you this is when you're going to be able to place the order next time the market opens. But right now, the market is closed right now. So that's literally how you place your trade. And then once you place it, you can see you'll have a tab down here called open orders, which we don't have any open yet. And then you'll have the stock under my positions once you're actually filled and executed on the trade. So that's how you use the Webull app for finding trades and placing your trades. And don't forget, you get a free stock by using my link in the description. Once you open your trading account with Webull, you'll also have your own private link that you can share with your friends so that they can get a free stock and you can get additional free stocks just by sharing the app. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to get notified when I release new videos. I'll see you on the next one. Hey there, Jason Brown here, and thanks for watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to let you know about one more free resource that I have, and that's the Stock Market Starter Pack. If you're not familiar with the Stock Market Starter Pack, this is the PDF packet that I put together to help you even if you're a beginner trader or you've been doing this for a while. I'm going to be breaking down the 3 most popular trends in the Stock Market Starter Pack. I'm also going to break down how much money you need to get started if you're brand new, but also if you've been trading and investing for a while. I'm going to walk you through how much money you need make and what percentage you need to make, in the complete formula if you're trying to walk away from your job or plan for the future and need to know how much money you need to make and at what type of percentage. I'm also going to walk you through some of my best free resources and a whole lot more. So all you got to do is go to stockmarketstarterpack.com. It's completely free. Just put in your email address. I'm going to email you the PDF so that you can download it. You can keep it on your computer or you can print it. But what I guarantee is that you'll get some great information out of this, no matter if you've been doing this for a while or especially if you're brand new. So click the link in the description or head over to stockmarketstarterpack.com and download it today.